Okay, so your test is going to be on Wednesday. Let me take attendance real quick. Alan here? No. And Eleanor? No. Okay. All right. So, all right. That being said, let me put it in the test calendar real quick as well, so there's no confusion from other teachers. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure. Oh, let's see. Does anybody have AP Bio? Who has AP Bio? Okay, good. So you guys have a test with Miss Ricci on the 2nd as well? Yeah. Okay, good. Perfect. I'm the second test, which means you are perfectly capable of having to do my test as well. Yay! All right. Bio is easy, though. It's the easiest of the sciences, so you guys should be fine. Okay. All right. What it is, chemistry is a hard one. All right. So, all right. Okay. Now, that being said, let's review. Let's go over some of the items that we're going to be doing. Okay. That your test is going to be on, just as a review. All right. Okay. So, you guys will need to know. Yes. Okay. So, you guys will need to know object orientation. Okay. You guys will need to know method overloading. You guys will need to know method overriding. You guys will need to know. I'm not really going to go into default constructors. Okay. More than likely, your program is going to have just a regular constructor. Okay. With that, also, what's it called? With the regular, it's going to have just a regular constructor. You will have to use super. You will need to know how to use super. You'll need to know some of the advanced array terminology, advanced array methods. Everything is fair game. If there ever was anything that would be like a final, it would be this. Okay. And then what we're going to do probably is, don't worry, it's not that bad. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, after this test is done, what we will do is we will go on to abstract classes. Okay. Abstract classes and interfaces. All right. So from there, that's what we will probably finish our year off with. Okay. Then we'll go back into just a few items of review. There's a lab that you have to do for the AP that you're required to do, unfortunately. So it's not a real lab, but it's more like it's almost like busy work that they want you guys to at least attempt. So other than that, that is basically what we are looking at for the exam. Okay. Now, what did you guys think of the book? Yes, Gary.
I felt like it explained it pretty well.
Okay.
Like especially like the inheritance and like I guess like the analogies they gave or whatever, or the examples. It just made it really clear.
It's a very good book. How many of you thought it was a pretty good book? Okay, and it kind of keeps you awake. Now, again, I'm going to be giving you guys an assignment for tonight based on the reading, just to make sure that you guys did it. It'll be due tomorrow, okay? But for today, because I wasn't giving you your test, we're just going to be just reviewing, okay? So this is just going to review, going over everything that we're going to need to, you're probably going to need to know. Obviously, it won't be the most comprehensive review, but it'll be pretty close. So let me share my screen. Okay, so, and as you can see, all my things are gone. I ended up getting the new Mac, so, which it's weird. They say it's super fast, yet I don't really notice a difference yet. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to create a new project. We'll call this review. Review B. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create let me create my classes real quick. By the way, I can tell you this, for this one, for this particular exam, I will tell you this, you guys remember the last one, how I had you guys do a full-on, AP problem? You are not gonna do that in this one, okay? What you guys are gonna do is in this one, you will have multiple choice questions. You will have short answer questions as well. And you will have one free response. So it'll probably go back to 10, more than likely 10, 10, and one free response, okay? Now remember that the short answers are always worth 2. So that's where you could really hurt yourself. So make sure you know how to write it. Make sure you're understanding the question, okay? I'll say this one. All right, so here we go. Let me move this over here. Perfect. Oops, that's not the way I wanted it. There we go. All right, so have everything good, perfect, everything looks good. Okay, so you will need to know your global variables, all right? Let's just say int grade string age, okay? You will need to know, now in the free, string name. In the free response, okay? You will need to know what a default constructor is. But for the actual short answer, you will not need to know that, okay? All right, so let's say right now I have a constructor, okay? So I'm gonna say public review. Now, again, what does a constructor not have? Anyone?
A return type.
A return type, okay, bingo. So I'm gonna say int grade string X, okay? Now I'm gonna say this dot grade equals grade. And I'm gonna say here, name equals X. Is this legal?
Yeah.
Is this legal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, when would be the only time that I would want to use this?
It's the same
When
name.
you have 2 variables of the same name and you
Okay.
want to.
Bingo. Now, I get rid of this. Is this legal?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's legal, but
It's legal. But what would this default to? What would grade now be equal to?
0.
0. Okay. If it was a string or any type of an object, what would it be?
Null.
It would be null. Very good. Okay. So I'm going to say this dot grade. So remember that. Okay. Objects or strings, anything like that, if you make it default to local, it becomes null. Okay. If it's numerical, 0. If it's a floating point variable, 0.0. Okay.
Wait,
So
Mr.
public,
Martinez?
yeah.
Which one would default to like 0 or null?
I just said that. So if it's numericals, ints, longs, shorts, doubles,
No, I mean like which variable? Would it be the variable that's in review or in the class? Like
so the global variable would take on the value of 0.
oh, okay.
The global, okay. The dummy variable would just basically unload itself, and then this would default to a null value. Okay, so that would just become null. All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, now I'm gonna just say here, object created. Okay, so I say object created. Basically, what does this mean? What is gonna happen now?
You're gonna print that out, object created.
Okay, so here in the tester class, review A equals new review 9. Okay. Now, basically what this is, now again, a constructor is basically like a specialized type of method. You do want to run everything that's in here. Purpose of a constructor, again, is to initialize global variables, but we still have items that we can do in here. So if I run this, okay, I should get, where is it? Oops, let me save it. Object created. I don't know why my screen is so small right there, but you guys hopefully can see it says objects created. All right, so let's build upon this. Okay, do we know how to use a toString method? Okay, so right now, if I were to just print out, if I were to just print out, come on, bollocks. There we go. I get the memory address. Okay, get this review, whatever down here. Okay, I don't want that. Let me see if I can make this. Oh, that's weird. Sorry, guys. I wish for some reason it's not larger. I don't know why. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead is this. I'm going to do a toString. Public string toString. Okay, and I'm going to say no parameters, and I'm going to say return grade plus, oops, I hate when I do that. Okay, name and grade. All right, so now when I do this toString method here, let me save it and I run it. Okay, grade 9 name is null right now. Let's say name is John. Grade 9 name John. Okay, so that's our toString method right there. Then we can have our mutators and our accessors, correct? Okay, what is it? What's a mutator? What's another word for it?
Setter.
Setter.
What's an accessor?
Getter.
Getter.
Okay, now the key thing is, now is you guys probably saw in the other AP videos that we have, or the other tests that I gave you, you're not always going to need the a setter or a getter. Is that correct? You're not always going to need one. So don't assume that you're going to need one. Okay. All right. So let's say, for instance, right now I do public string get name. Okay. How would I fill this out?
Return get.
name.
Return name.
Return name or return this dot name, correct? Would either one work? Return name or return this dot name? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And because it's in the same class, I can say this as well, correct? All right. Now this is actually a nicer way to do it, a little bit cleaner way to do it, believe it or not. Okay. So we do this, et cetera, then we can have other methods that do other things. So let's say, for example, in this review, public string or public void can drive. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll say public void can drive, and what we'll do is let's do this. Watch. Okay, we'll do this. Boolean drive. And in here, say drive equals false. Okay. Then what we'll do is in here, we'll say if drive or if not drive, I can't. Okay. Okay, so this is perfect. Okay. So right now we have void can drive. Okay. I'm going to now inherit this. This is actually going to be a very good one. Okay. Let me get rid of this up here. This is actually going to be a very, very good example. Okay. So watch. So if I do a dot can drive. Okay. If I print this, oops, I don't need to have a print statement there because it is already a void. Okay. So if I have a dot can drive, I can't drive. That's what it says. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to inherit. Okay. So we'll just call this older. Okay. So class older, what?
Extends
Extends.
review.
Extends what?
Review.
Review.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Extends review. All right. Now, what's the first thing I need to do? What's the first thing I need to do?
Create a constructor.
Okay. I'm going to create a constructor. Okay. So my constructor is big. I'm not going to add any more variables. There's going to need to be a modification made to the superclass and the subclass. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is this. Public class older extends review. I'm going to say public older. And I will say int grade string x, same thing. Okay, and I can say super grade and x. Now, once I've done this, what happens?
The grade and name in the superclass get changed.
Okay, what else happens? Let's say I do this. Okay, I've got a can drive, and I say older b equals new older 10 Susan. Okay, I do this now, right? Now what's going to print out? Or if I do, or basically what's going to happen now?
It just creates the object, right?
What lines? Okay, with everything here, what's going to print? If I just print everything here, what's going to print out?
Object created, and then
Isn't it?
I
what's
can't
already there?
drive,
And
and then object created.
it's going to print object created. I can't drive object created. You have to remember that you inherit this print statement. It comes as part and parcel of the super. So when I run this, object created, I can't drive object created. Everything super doesn't necessarily mean just the initialization of the variables. It means bring everything with it. Okay. So I have older, et cetera, et cetera. Now, okay, take a look at this. Okay. All right. I need to make a modification. Okay. With review, I want them to be able to say, I can drive. Okay. So public void can drive. The minute that I opened up this curly bracket, what happened?
You overrided
Method
can
over.
drive.
You're right. You're right, Ian. Method overriding happens. Okay. So method overriding has now happened. What modifications do I need to make to the superclass? What's the simplest thing that I can do?
Drive equals true.
Huh?
Drive equals true. Actually, no. Never mind. You can just print I can drive.
Mm-mm. Yes. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Will. Anybody?
You just put in the parameter.
Nope. Because we're specifically dealing with method overriding. So if I do a parameter, it is a completely different method. That's what method overloading is. Come on, Dylan.
Can you call super?
You are going to call super, but what else do I need to do? Dylan, what do I not have access to?
Drive.
Drive. Actually, you know what? Here, let me do this. Actually, drive.
Yeah, I guess you do have access to drive.
Okay,
No.
now, okay, so now what do I not have access to?
Drive.
So what would I need to do in the super class?
You would want to create a setter.
Bingo. Okay, so what I want, guys, so what I would do, guys, is this. I would say public void, or public, yeah, I could do void too. Void would be okay in this instance. Public void, because I don't really want to return anything right now. Okay, so I would say public void set drive. Okay, and I would take in a Boolean value. And I would say drive equals X. Okay, that being said, now what would I do? Everyone but Dylan. Euban. What's the first line of my code going to be?
Super.
Nope. What's different, Euban? What's different about super in a constructor as opposed to super in a method?
Oh, you have to do super dot.
Nope. No, you do have to do that, but what's different between super in a constructor and super in a method? Super in a constructor always needs to be the first line.
Yeah.
A method, super can go anywhere. Okay. What do I do first? Thanos. Did I inherit access to the variable?
No.
No, but what did I inherit? I inherited a setter variable or a setter method, right? So the first thing that I would do is I would say set drive to false. Okay. Now what that did is, at least in this class, is it sets the global variable to false. Remember, setters and getters are like saying, when I use a getter, it's like saying, you don't have access to that variable, but you know what? I do. I will go and get it for you. Setters are saying, you know what? Once you've inherited, you don't have access to change the variable. I do. You tell me what you want to do, and then I will do it for you. So I have set drive. What I did is for this class, for when you call on this method, I've set it to false. Okay. Now I could also theoretically do it here. But right now, for all intents and purposes, it's better to do it here, because if you're ever going to call on the can drive method, if this is the only place where this Boolean is ever going to be used, it would make sense to just do it here. Okay. So set drive is false, then super dot can drive. Okay. Now what's going to happen is you want to be able to say if you can drive or you can't drive. So set drive is set to false. Now that it's set to false, I'm going to run the can drive method the way that I had it before. Okay. So now if I run this, oops, I'm sorry. Where is it? Wait a minute, where, how did I do this one? I can't drive. Yeah, if not drive, I set it to false. So in this case, I want to set it to true. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. So now if I say B dot can drive, okay, I print this, I can drive. Okay, now notice what super did. Super, again, fancy way of saying copy and paste. All I had to do was call on my setter method to set this to true, to change the values. And then super says, okay, go ahead now and just do everything that used to be in the method. Yes, Alex.
Why isn't it super.setDrive?
Because you inherited the set drive method. You inherit this method. So because you've inherited and because it's public, you can just use it. You understand that?
Don't you also inherit
It's the same.
drive?
So Alex, it's the same as this. See up here how we use get name? We can use get name because get name exists within this class. When you extend, you're inheriting all of these methods. So even though you don't see it, it exists in this class.
So why do you have to use super on can drive?
Because what I'm doing, because again, the minute that I open up, if this is the same name and same parameters as this one, the minute that I open this up in the inherited drive, overwriting takes place. So theoretically, the minute that I do this, Alex, everything gets erased. So then what I've done is I called on my set drive method and I overrode the global method in this class to true. And then, you know what? I still want this to do everything that it did before. So then I just say super.canDrive. So that's what the super.canDrive does, is you're saying go to the super class and do everything that you used to do in this method. Okay. All right. And I felt like that's actually a good example to show you how this works. Okay. All right. So again, we've gone over method overriding. All right. Now method overloading is what?
You like change like the parameters or like the return type.
Same name, but different parameters. Okay. Same name, different parameters. All right. So let's see. Hold on one second. All right. So I'm trying to think. What else do we have? Okay. You guys know your arrays. We pretty much know. Okay. So let's say I wanted to make an array of 10 older objects. What's the first thing I need to do? Gary, or I'm sorry, not Gary, Henry. What's the signature? What's the line? I just want to create the arrays of 10 objects. Not filling them in yet, just creating them.
So just a new array then, or?
Yep. So how do I create the array? An array that could hold 10 older objects.
Would it just be string?
Now, is older a string?
Oh, sorry, no. Yeah, I don't,
Lance, help him out.
I'm sorry.
Is it older X array equals new older, and then brackets 10?
Bingo. Okay. So
Okay.
this is when we're doing this, it doesn't matter if it's strings, objects, an array can be of anything. Okay, Henry? So we have older. This is basically when I put it here, you're basically saying this array called X is going to be able to, it's going to only hold older objects. And on this side, we can finish constructing it with 10. Okay. Now, have we finished initializing them? Okay. Now, legal or not legal to initialize?
Legal. There's no illegal. Wait.
Why?
Oh, never mind. I meant you. I thought you said declare.
Okay, so is this legal? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the way that you initialize an array?
No.
Here's why. Okay. Now, will this work? Notice that there's no errors, right? Notice that there's no errors. This will work for one time through. Okay. So let's say that I did this. Take a look what happens. So it's good that you guys see this. Okay. Because some of you are still going to get confused and try to initialize with an array. And when you're doing it in Eclipse, you'll be like, oh, it works. It works. It actually doesn't. It will work for one time through, but it won't stick. So I would say in this instance, okay, Z equals new. Actually, you know what? Yeah, new, older. And then let's see, 10. Okay. All right. Z equals new to, okay, but now take a look. Ah. I got null. I got null. You guys see that at the bottom? It's really low, but I got null. Because what technically happened, guys, was this, okay? What technically happened was, as you can see, it created 10 objects. It went through the array and created 10 objects, but it only did it temporarily. And the reason why is because you cannot initialize an array with a for each loop. Is it legal to do it like this really quickly and then cycle through? Yes, you can. But for the values to stay, no, it will not work. That is why a null pointer exception happened right here, or a null happened, because theoretically there's 10 spaces, but they're all null. So this is why you would never use this. It wouldn't stick. We would use a standard for loop. 0, j is less than x.length, and then j plus plus. And then we would just say x index j equals new, older, 9, and let's say okay, so here we go. So now if I did it like this, okay, now what's going to print out? Grade 6, name John. Okay, that's how it works. All right. Anybody have any questions? Okay, I felt like this was a good review to get us back on our feet. We haven't seen each other in about 6 days. So I felt like this is a pretty, actually longer, huh? It's been a week since I've seen you guys. Well, I saw Lance Monday night and Alex Monday night. So, so, all right. Okay, guys, how was this? Good review? Okay. I actually felt like this was a good review of super as well. I thought we covered super pretty well as well with methods. Okay. So tomorrow, be ready. We're going to just do one final review for your test. Any last questions? You guys know how test days are, or the days before test. Just chill. If you feel like you got it, you're good to go. Otherwise, just let me know. Okay. And we'll go from there. All right. Test is going to be 45 minutes. All right. Just so you guys know. All right. More than likely, I'm probably not going to do 10 short answer. I'm probably going to do 10 multiple choice, 5 short answer, 1 free response. But remember that the short answers are always worth 2. Okay. All right. So rewatch this video if you need to. It's actually a pretty good one. And I will talk to you guys later. I will be doing tomorrow night a review as always. So we'll go back to that. I will do an evening review tomorrow night. All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.